We've got 2 first-time title holders and a brand new Elimination Chamber. We're feeling the glow right here on AFTERBUZZ TV. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
All right, not really a bumpin' one, but we'll take it. This is the Elimination Chamber 2017 theme. Hey guys, what's up? Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us. My name is Christy Olson. We are live on YouTube. We are on iTunes and SoundCloud as well. Please give us a thumbs up, give us a little rating, leave a comment, let us know what you think about this show, what you thought about the WWE Elimination Chamber, and so much more. You can always hit me up at Christy Reports. And joining me tonight, we have the connoisseur of the AB TV Predictions Championship account.
Curator, perhaps?
Is that better?
Commissioner?
All right, you can be whatever the heck you want to be here at AfterBuzz TV. It's Steve Kaufmann.
You guys can find me on Twitter at Steve Kaufmann. That is Kaufmann.
Well, we're off to a great start, so let's talk about the encyclopedia of WWE
You took my
knowledge down
title?
there.
No.
Honey, I'm
You
talking
took
about you.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Still reigns.
Hey.
Although I think we made it change. I think we said it last time. We made it change it to the Wikipedia of pro wrestling. Because who uses encyclopedias?
No,
these
you're
days?
old school. At G.
That is true.
Hermoza,
But we all,
George
but we all
Hermoza.
know when we were kids. I don't want to age anybody here, but those encyclopedias were badass.
Yeah.
They were, and what else is badass? It's the raging Tom Connolly down there.
I am here.
At Tom the Com.
I don't really have much to rage about tonight, though.
You're a happy boy?
Yeah, it was good, yeah.
I like to
good
hear
show,
that.
Good show tonight.
It
so.
was good and action-packed. I think when we hear that we're just having a SmackDown or just a Raw pay-per-view, last time we didn't have a ton of matches on the card. This one was stacked. We loved it, and by we, I mean there's one more little person in the room here that I want to introduce y'all to. Look who's returned. It's Miss Anissa Barr.
Hi, how's it going?
Our beloved intern.
Yes.
So we didn't harass you enough last time.
No.
And you're back for more.
Yes.
All right, so everybody put Anissa through the paces.
Okay.
All right, noted. Welcome back, girl. We're glad to have you.
I'm glad to be here.
And we were kicking off this one tonight with a match, Mojo Rawley versus Curt Hawkins. They are live in Phoenix, Arizona. This kickoff match was a fun one. Now, a lot to talk about here. Maybe not so much. Well, I mean,
They got
Curt
time.
Hawkins, they got time because Curt Hawkins dared. He dared to mock Mojo Rawley's friendship with the Gronk. And that's pretty much why these two are thrown down. Am I right, boys? Am I right?
You are right.
I feel like the match was booked before that, but yes, that's the story they made this. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, we haven't seen much of Curt Hawkins on TV at all up until this match. I don't want to say it's his debut.
Not too much. Yeah, I mean, I like that they've both been, you know, teammates with Zack Ryder. So I like that they brought that up during the match. But I was very surprised how much I liked this match.
Yeah.
I wasn't really a big fan of Mojo's work, to be honest with you. I thought he was more of a tag team specialist. I thought he was going to shine brightly and more in a tag team, but I thought he held his own in a singles match.
This was an energetic matchup, to say the least. Mojo came out big in this one, hitting a right hook and a big slam. He ends up pinning Curt Hawkins for the win. Tom, what did you think of this little matchup?
I mean, I thought it was good. I was surprised how long they got. I saw somebody wrote on Twitter that they were fighting for the love of Zack Ryder, which I thought was pretty funny. But the only thing I don't like is I think Mojo needs a different finisher because that's basically what Strowman does. Like, he doesn't do a rotation, but he does like the running power slam.
And I want to say it makes him look a little weak that he needs to throw the person in the ropes to get enough momentum to do it. Like, I'm aware he can do it himself, but I think the setup for that always seems to be him throwing someone into the ropes. I actually really enjoyed the false finishes back and forth between these two, especially someone who hasn't seen very many matches from either of them. You don't actually know what their finish is. Like, that might be his finish, and everyone's doing this. I really like when a cover happens when you hook your arms on a cover, hook your hands on a cover.
That's just something you happen to be looking for in everyday life?
No, that's just something people don't typically do, but both competitors did that in this match, including Mojo Rawley on the way.
An astute observation, Steve Kaufmann. Tell us more about the placing of the wrestler's fingers.
Well, you lock them like this, and then you use the thumbs.
All right. I mean, in all honesty, this was the kickoff match. Not a ton to really break down here because we didn't have a lot leading up to it. But it sounds like it was enough to get you guys amped up for the main show.
Hyped
Is that
up.
right?
I think it's
Hyped.
properly hyped up. Courtesy of Mojo Rawley.
Okay, we got to use our proper verbiage. And you guys all placed your votes for the ABTV Predictions Championship. Let's see what y'all thought. Oh, goodness gracious. 88% of you backing Mojo on this one, with the remaining 12% thinking that Hawkins was going to get the dub. Well, y'all were right.
Yeah. I think Hawkins looks in that picture like he knew he was going to lose that match.
That is the opposite of Naomi's face when she came out tonight. We'll leave it at that for now. Well, let's talk about the big show. Well, the actual
He was on
main
the big show?
Wait, what?
Wow.
That's next time at Fastlane. How about the main show, WWE's Elimination Chamber 2017, which started off with Becky Lynch versus Mickie James.
Can
now,
I say something real quick?
I mean, you could have waited until I was done with my introduction, but go ahead.
It's because I wanted to make sure. I mean, maybe you were going to say it already. Who knows? But so I apologize in advance. But not one, not two, but 3 women's matches on the card. Not just random women's matches. 3 matches that really mattered and had months in the making. One of them going back to November. One of them going back maybe like a month or 2.
Yeah.
Obviously with Luchadora and with Naomi, like, oh, this is a long time coming. Not just the reign, but just the match itself. 3 matches featuring women that all are relevant.
Yeah, your timing's way off on that one, because I was trying to think for my introduction of 3 of something that happened tonight, so I could be like 2 title holders, 1 new chamber. Yeah, you could have come with that a while ago, but thank you for pointing it
Also,
out.
only
Curt.
one singles match only one male singles match.
Yes!
Wow, yeah.
Luke Harper, Randy Orton was the only.
We win, ladies. Speaking of, well, Mickie James is the one to make this all happen. She's the only woman ever to hold the women's title, the Divas title, and a Knockouts championship. And Becky is, of course, the former SmackDown Live women's champ, the inaugural champ, who lost her title thanks in part to Mickie James. So this one was a long time coming. The action quickly spilled to outside, and both are nearly counted out before the match even gets started. But once these ladies do start coming to blows, it was a fantastic match. Thoughts, boys?
I'll go first. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a hard-hitting match between these two. I wasn't sure who was going to get the win. I was kind of hoping for Mickie to get the win because I think it would just kind of keep this feud going more. I mean, I don't think it's really over yet with Becky getting the win. But, I mean, the only thing I didn't like, at least commentary-wise, was the David Otunga and all of them saying Mickie James has been gone for 7 years and has ring rust, and I just hate that. I hate when they say that because okay, we get it. They weren't in WWE for 7 years, but they were wrestling around the world. So you can't be like, oh, she's gonna have ring rust and she's gonna be, not used to this. No, like we can't. You can say they weren't in the universe, but they were somewhere in a different universe doing the same thing.
I think they've done a pretty good job of explaining. They've been wrestling around the world.
Yeah,
that seems to be code for a company we won't mention. And at this point, there's only one company they won't mention.
Yeah.
Depending on the context, like they'll mention that AJ Styles came straight from New Japan. They'll say New
true.
Japan. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But like they will not say TNA.
I think David Otunga mentioned it, but I think JBL was really quick to say, hey, like, even though she may not have been wrestling in WWE for 7 years, she's been wrestling all over the world and won championship. So I like the fact that JBL was quick to correct and be like, hey, I get it, but it's not just about. I mean, maybe it is just about WWE, but it's not just about WWE. You're still wrestling all over the world.
Yeah.
I really like this match. I kind of saw glimpses of 2006 Mickie James, which we all loved. We all love that 2006 Mickie James. Let's be real. So I kind of saw glimpses of that, and I'm hoping that maybe this can build toward like a big, not you can't duplicate WrestleMania, but something in that extent where like you will see that fully blown Mickie James as far as like not psycho lesbian, just something with that, something similar.
We're far from predictions. We're far from predictions, but I really don't want to see a 6-woman pre-show tag for the SmackDown ladies. I think they're way better than that. I think they can get.
Yeah.
I think we can get something pretty juicy for the SmackDown ladies on WrestleMania. It sounded weird the way I said ladies.
Well, speaking of the ladies, Yakita in the chat did mention that they do talk about TNA sometimes on Talking Smack. So
Ooh.
You're right, girl. And those were the dreaded letters that we were not saying there. TNA. Well, let's take a look at what you all thought that was going to be the turnout for this match. Wow, I'm surprised by this. So I know you all out there are huge Becky Lynch fans, but only 28.3 of you thought that she was going to take this one. Meanwhile, 68.5%. Hey, we're very on point here at AFTERBUZZ TV. Thought that Mickie James was gonna take it, and 3.3 of you were like, hey, whatever. We don't know what the hell is gonna happen. So I'm surprised to see our fans throwing their support so hard behind Mickie James, although she does deserve it. I know that Becky Lynch has been super popular with everyone in the past. So what does this mean for both ladies' future?
I think the logic behind 68% of our fans feeling this way is that they've seen it before, where someone like Becky Lynch will come in, be an inaugural champion, and then someone like Alexa Bliss will just outshine them, and then you're done, and then they'll just bury them down the line. So I do like the 28.3 of you that agree with me and agree with what actually happened tonight, that you do it in a way where Mickie James comes off as just this dastardly person, and Becky Lynch won.
And I think more than being dastardly for Mickie, I thought it seemed like she was outclassing Becky Lynch a little bit here and there throughout this matchup. It really looked like the veteran versus someone. I mean, Becky Lynch is not inexperienced or green by any means in any way, shape, or form. But when you compare the length of her career to Mickie's, Mickie definitely does have an advantage there. And I thought that was a little bit obvious tonight. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, I mean, she was definitely controlling the majority of the match. Mickie was. And then, like, she hit the Mick kick. And then I didn't like that it was, like, she didn't go to cover right away. So I thought it was just one of those where it's like, okay, I wish you would have covered and she'd have put her foot in the rope or something to kind of break that up, instead of her kind of being like, okay, I'm just going to, lazily go for the cover now. You're like, come on, what are you trying to win a match? Like,
I like the fact that like you said, like, it kind of shows that Mickie was outclassing Becky, and if you really think about it, the finish kind of came out of nowhere. This isn't one of those finishes where, like, clearly the better woman won. It was clearly the woman who won was better for like 3 seconds. Right, so I'm hoping that this does continue, but like I said, we're going to see, I think, Becky's game step up, because you said we all kind of saw Mickie kind of outclass her a little bit, especially with Becky having all those years of experience. So, kind of looking forward to SmackDown this week.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And the SmackDown after show on AFTERBUZZ TV.
Well, it sounds like you guys want to see more of this feud. You weren't satisfied with this match. You were just even further.
We were just appetized.
Stimulated a little much. Okay, appetized. That's better.
We were appetized with this match, but we can definitely get more of this match.
But like I mentioned, it's mostly because this feud is relevant. It's not just two random women kind of put together. Let's figure out something to do with Alicia Fox and whoever else. Like, it's like, no, these two girls, like, it's really easy to build a story behind these two women as well as the other women, and that's what is part of the reason why this match and this feud is so great.
Yeah, and I think people thought that Mickie would win because this was like her first pay-per-view match, like singles match since coming back. So
and
I thought
if you don't include NXT, and she lost in NXT, then
exactly.
I do see the argument for why you would need to build Mickie back up, but I think the argument's better is you need to rebuild Becky Lynch, because Mickey's here because she's fine.
I agree with you on that.
Both on looks and overness.
Overness. Add that to your WWE dictionary.
I'm sure if people listen to me long enough, there's a whole dictionary worth of words I make up right here in this room.
I love it. Well, guys, how about a 2-on-1 handicap match? This one has a lot of history as well. Apollo Crews and Kalisto versus Dolph Ziggler. So after betraying Kalisto, Dolph Ziggler told Daniel Bryan that he could take on both of these guys easily. And Daniel Bryan said, all right, prove it, honey. Probably didn't call him honey, but we know how this is gonna go. Dolph Ziggler attacked Kalisto before he even got to the ring during his entrance. It looked like that LD screen was gonna be broken for the rest of the show. I was really concerned, but perhaps we should also be concerned for Kalisto, who went down. But Apollo Crews and Dolph Ziggler make it to the ring and start off a gnarly bout.
I love the back and forth of this bout, in the sense that if you show me a 2-on-1 handicap match with Dolph Ziggler versus Apollo Crews and Kalisto, you initially think, oh, so Apollo Crews is going to bury 2 people? So the second he, as a heel, makes it one-on-one, you're like, oh, so Apollo Crews is just going to beat, or sorry, Dolph Ziggler's just going to beat Apollo Crews. And then you get that second beat of, oh no, Kalisto's good.
Kalisto dragged himself with his injured lower back into the ring just in time to be tagged in by a beaten down Apollo Crews. The tag happens unbeknownst to Dolph Ziggler, and Apollo comes out with a spin-out powerbomb, pins Dolph Ziggler, and Kalisto and Apollo Crews are the winners of this matchup. George, what did you think of this one?
I thought it was okay.
I knew there was a reason you weren't speaking up.
I mean,
Tell us about it,
nothing really
G-Rum.
popped up. I feel like a lot of these with these storylines with Dolph Ziggler is being a little forced. He's got, and we've seen it on Total Divas cards. That guy's very charismatic. He's got a lot of personality, and I feel like even as a heel, we're not seeing the best of Dolph Ziggler. We saw that years ago, like in 2012, 2013, when he was with Vicky and AJ and whatnot. Yeah. But I don't know. I just feel something's missing from this Ziggler storyline.
I think more than 2 people to work with might be a part of it. That I think that's.
But even so, it's like he was mad that he was losing out to other people, but now he's like, and no offense to Apollo Crews and Kalisto, but let's be real, something's missing with Apollo Crews a lot more than what's with what we see, and it just, I don't know, it just feels like a step down for Ziggler. And they say it all the time. He's a 2-time world heavyweight champion. Well, it doesn't look like it. I feel like he's so much better than this. And again, nothing against Crews and Kalisto. I just feel like they've dropped the ball on pushing these 2 guys as well.
Yeah, I think that he's in his like brooding stage, Ziggler now. Like I don't give a crap. I'm gonna do what I want. Like I mean, I think in the end, he came out looking way better than both these guys tonight after the match. Beating the crap out of him, stomping the chair on.
I mean, I like the mean streak from Ziggler.
Yeah, I think it's weird because we're used to him coming out and talking and saying he's the best, and now he doesn't even talk really. So it's kind of hard to be like, before you were losing all the time and saying that you're the best, and now I guess you're not really winning all the time yet, but now you're not saying anything. You're just like, okay, I'm just gonna take a chair.
Although when he did come out and say something on SmackDown, the fact that he kind of slowed down, I like that, because before we're like, I'm the show off, I'm gonna steal the show. It's like, dude, slow down for a little bit.
I think that was part of the problem back in like those #heel days. Is that like when he would come out and say like #heel, I came out and did this, like it would come off like so cool that he'd be at best a Shawn Michaels heel, and like everyone liked Shawn Michaels. But in this day and age, like people just like Dolph Ziggler so much, the way he talks normally, how charismatic he is, that have him talk less or talk slower or like do incredibly terrible things is the only way to make us not like him or not root for him. But then he needs stronger heroes if he's the villain.
Well, I think our lifelong fan Anissa probably has some input. What do you think, girl?
You know what? I like Dolph Ziggler as a heel than a face. I just feel like he's good at a face, sure, but I think he's more better as a heel. And I liked what he did by attacking Apollo with his leg, and kept going at it and using a chair, which brought more into the match. So I really enjoyed the match, actually, and kind of felt bad for Kalisto.
Oh, how could you not?
I felt so bad.
I felt bad for Kalisto since his call-up.
Hey, he won the belt. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
2 times.
Speaking of Ziggler, do you think Dog Ziggler still exists? Remember the Rusev dog that he gave to like Summer Rae or Lana? It's like, oh, his name's Dog Ziggler.
That was someone's actual dog, but I forget whose.
Does Dog Ziggler have an Instagram?
He should.
Two Paws does.
By
the way, do you guys follow on Two Paws?
I do follow Two Paws.
Of course.
I thought the attack at the beginning was awesome, though. A good way to start this match, I think.
Yeah.
To get I was like watching and like, I don't know, I like went to the kitchen and I was like, wait, what is going on right now?
Because that's what the idea of 2-on-1, that it's like, oh, you're either gonna make Dolph Ziggler beatable because he's against 2 people, double the people, or you're gonna make Apollo Crews and Kalisto look terrible.
Yeah.
So I'm happy they found a way to make that happen in a way, like beat to beat. Like that all makes sense.
Well, how about this beatdown at the end? So Dolph Ziggler attacks Kalisto again while he and Apollo Crews are trying to celebrate, stomps AC out, and then puts Apollo Crews, that's my show notes, his foot in a chair and does that stomp Anissa was talking about, not once, but 2 times. to thank you Ziggler chants
Yeah.
from the crowd, which I'm guessing is not exactly what they were going for.
No, I think that was
Usually-
exactly what they wanted to go.
No, it's
No, Tom.
Right.
No.
Wait, what? It wasn't? Oh, man. I don't know what I've been watching then.
I mean, this is essentially not what they wanted to hear, but let's check in with our fans and see what they thought going into this one. So I guess that supports those thank you Ziggler chants with 51.6% of you thinking that Dolph was going to be victorious in this one, 15.2% backing Kalisto, and 27.2% of you thought that Apollo Crews may take this one. I know there's only
or
one
no, 15.
Helen Kalisto.
Sorry, 15.2 is no contest.
Oh,
27.2 is
right,
both because it's both of them.
because they were separated. That didn't even make sense what I just said, y'all.
We should fire the guy who made that graphic.
But
By the way,
we should, and
speaking
then
of,
you
like, the
rehire. It's
spelling,
okay.
The spelling is
We got
way to
spelling.
point it out.
Oh, yeah.
That person should get fired.
Well, you guys were right.
We'll
That's all
rehire
that
them.
matters. You guys out there were right on this one.
Only 27% of them.
Well, 27% of it were right.
Oh my god.
57.6
It's
had
confusing,
Ziggler.
isn't it? The
57
misspelling and the percentages.
57.6 had Ziggler.
We're a hot mess
Let's
here.
just get a rematch.
Come on.
You know what? I got the remedy. Let's move on. Let's talk about the SmackDown Tag Team Championship Turmoil match, where our champions American Alpha went up against the Usos, the Ascension, Heath Slater and Rhino, Breezango, and the Vaudevillains, putting up their titles, taking on all challengers. Daniel Bryan made this little matchup too after the American Alpha's open challenge on SmackDown broke down into an all-out brawl. This seemed to be the only way to settle it. And it was settled, gentlemen, with American Alpha retaining their tag team titles. So Heath and Rhino started off this one against Breezango. And of course, Rhino breaks out the gore. That's a pretty good way to kick this off. Did you guys enjoy this tag team turmoil match?
I thought it was fun. I wish Breezango was later in the match. Like, I don't know how those guys aren't getting pushed more. Like, they have a fun gimmick. It's cool. Like, Fandango, when he walks out to the ring, he owns that gimmick still. Like, even though he's doing some of the dancing, but like he cracks me up every time he comes out to the ring, because you're not expecting him to be. You're gonna be like, he's gonna like phone this in, but no, he is all in on this gimmick, and so is Tyler Breeze. I just think those guys, if they did more with them and actually gave them time to talk, I think they would definitely get over with the crowd more. Like, they got like the tickets and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they just don't let them do anything, and they just need to break them out.
I agree.
They let them do a bit. They just don't let them win.
Yeah, well, that too. Yeah,
They don't put them in a position to win. I've also been highly critical of how they've treated American Alpha, like since winning, or actually since calling them up.
They've been like non-existent, I think,
Yeah,
on
they-
SmackDown since winning the belts.
And also,
I don't think they're over. But I think it's because of what you said.
Well, I also think there's something to be said about how they feel about their plans. That I don't think they ever planned for Heath Slater and Rhino to get as over as they got. That they had to cool them down. Like, that was step one of this tag team division. Was, oh man, we really didn't plan long term for Heath Slater and Rhino. We wanted American Alpha to like bring their overness. Yeah, I'll say it again. Bring their overness from NXT just straight on into SmackDown without any
Doesn't work that way anymore.
Yeah, like,
But I think it works, but they cooled them off at the
Yeah.
same time. Like, they were like, okay, you're in this tournament. Oh, you're going to be in the finals. Oh, no, the Usos are going to take you out. And then it's like, they were like, oh, no, we got to push the Usos because they're bad. And we got Heath and Rhino, yeah. I was like, I just said Rhino. I said it backwards.
The SmackDown Live tag team division as a whole has struggled a little bit since the brand extension. SmackDown has been so good. The women are so strong. The men are so strong. And it does seem like the tag teams are searching for their own identities and their own kind of roles and all of this.
Which is why,
I'm not sure that tonight helped that.
I think tonight was a step in the right direction, in the sense that every tag team came out and got to display exactly who they were. Got to
Not
display
the
exactly.
Vaudevillains.
Yeah, no, yeah, they were.
Well-
that was kind of sad.
I was worried about the vaudevillains before they were ever called up, of how that would play to a main audience.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you about Breezango, as I like to call him. Febreze, because like whenever I remember like it was like a talking smack where they came out and started giving out like the fashion tickets.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, this is hilarious. It's like SmackDown's version of the list, and I mean it helped that when they played it off. But like we need more of them on TV. I think like if you give them enough TV time, they can get as over as Jericho and the list is over.
Yeah.
Jericho and Owens, because those guys are so golden together. I mean, aside from the fact that maybe people think that Tyler Breeze maybe is best as singles wrestler, but again, you're in NXT mode now. We're in main roster mode, and those guys have such well chemistry. And like you said, Fandango owns it every single time. Just random like hip jive hip shrugs and just like the facial.
You don't need to do it.
He just has that look, and I don't know another Total Divas drop. I don't know, just because he always seems so scummy like on Total Diva, and I think it was on purpose. I think it was mostly on purpose, but it just plays it off a lot more, like kind of like you see Rusev, and it's like he's unintentionally funny. I think the same as Fandango, and again, you can go out there. I think they're not going to be super over faces, but I think at least they can be entertaining to the point where like, dude, I want to see these guys on TV every single week.
Yeah.
Or you get them over enough as bad guys to go, I want to see them get beat up by somebody, that
By
kind
the
of
team
thing.
I like, which I guess is American Alpha. I think everybody really liked the Ascension. Like the Ascension got a pretty big reaction.
I really thought they were gonna win. I was like, they're gonna come out and win the belts, and this is gonna be crazy. But
This was their first shining moment in quite a while.
yeah, and I thought, okay, I was like, okay, the Usos take them out, they win the belts, and then, like I said on SmackDown this week, then I thought Revival comes out, they win the belts over the Ascension to start off their reign, being SmackDown. But
I was also hoping for a Revival. In my mind, it wouldn't have done well for the division. But in my mind, the way this match was going to go was that American Alpha was going to come out first. They were going to beat every tag team in unison, and then when they think they won, the Revival comes out and beats them.
Don't you think the introduction of the Revival to this division would just muddy it up further? Like until they get a definite plan and some definite storylines
I
going?
agree with you, because I don't think the Revival is going to get as over as we think that they'd be. I think they need a lot more pushing behind them. I've been saying it for years. I think Eva Marie should be paired up with them if they want that instant heel heat. Granted, Eva Marie comes back at some point.
Eva Marie would be a really interesting
Fingers
choice for
crossed.
them.
Yeah, it's just like it's automatically like eyeballs,
Yeah.
Well, it's automatically eyeballs and controversy, but it's also what they stand for. Eva Marie is the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Then it would be. I think the contrast would actually be
And
incredible.
especially with Eva Marie, like I'd push you. I don't know how we got talking about Eva Marie. I brought it up. I brought
To
it up.
remind you, Eva Marie is part of the SmackDown
Exactly,
Live
but
roster.
if anything, like I would step away from actually her being a wrestler, and I'd study people like Sherry, who just in her role, like she made Harlem Heat a lot better than what they were,
Yeah.
and I think something like that can get guys like the Revival over. But going back to the tag team division, it's. My only beef with this match, and I thought it was okay, but my only beef is that with the way American Alpha eventually loses the belt, it better be by like a gang beatdown, because they got
Panther
beat
tonight?
down.
Yeah.
They got beat down, and it goes back to like a few years ago when CM Punk lost the belt after 434 days. Like you lost a people's elbow. You had the belt for over a year and lost a people's elbow. Come on, man.
But it's a lot of people.
It
lost
was the
to
Rock,
people's
though.
elbow.
My bad. I'm sorry. It was the Rock. My bad.
Our chat rule is going crazy over Eva Marie. They don't necessarily need to see what we've suggested.
There's a lot of people
and many
saying
of
they're
them
not
believe
coming
that
back.
she's not coming back.
We'll wait
So
till.
you
I think,
know.
I think if she,
I go to you for the inside.
I'm trying to find out.
I think if she doesn't
doing
come
her
back by
best.
Mania, then like I don't know where. If she doesn't come back before Mania, then I don't know what is gonna
I think you're
give
right
them and be like, okay, we're gonna give you another chance. to come
Her
back.
and Emelina are going to debut on the
Because I
same
think,
day.
and again, another Total Divas drop. I know I was watching Total Divas. I know you love this stuff, but it looks like they were going to mention her suspension on Total Divas. So maybe they're saving that kind of information for Total Divas ratings. Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
Perhaps.
They do like to tie it all in, and when it's all on the same time.
They're over 6 months behind on Total Divas. I've waited long enough for these things. But people, back to the tag team turmoil match. Let's see what Anissa had to say about this one.
I really liked it. I was very entertained by it. The Inception, I'm really glad they don't have their pads anymore.
And I like the mask and the paint.
I do like that. I'm just-
more paint.
I'm just glad. And then
They can't play too hard in the paint.
and then just last night I was watching Breaking Ground, and I realized that Tyler Breeze did come far away, and where he came from NXT, and I just feel like he's better than what he's doing right now. I think he's better as a single competitor. And yeah, Fandango's great, but Tyler Breeze has been working his ass off, and I think he definitely deserves to.
That's
A lot of people
too.
had high
Yeah.
hopes for him when he came up.
I like, and
And
sometimes
I don't think it's his fault either. I don't think it's
No.
his fault. It's definitely not his fault.
I don't think it's Fandango's fault either.
Yeah, well.
I think Fandango.
And he's just like, no, let Fandango.
But like
And those hips.
But if you look at the trajectory, Fandango at WrestleMania 29 beats Chris Jericho, and everyone's singing his song,
Yeah.
and then that's not his fault that they didn't know how to handle that.
Yeah.
And to be fair, that was the first time someone's entrance music became like a meme bigger than wrestling. Like they did not know how to
Yeah, it
handle
was
that.
all over the place, yeah. So.
Sometimes it's just not people's time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we will be getting to someone whose time it finally was. But first, let's take a look at what our audience thought was going to go down in this tag team turmoil match. I see a lot of numbers and letters, and since we got so messy on the last one, I'm just going to pick out a couple. Okay, so 72.8% of you did think that American Alpha was going to retain on this one. Oh, a little over 1% were back in Breezango.
All right.
The Usos got 13% of your vote, and then we were sort of scattered throughout with very low numbers that
Did
I
nobody
can't
care about-
2.2 love villains.
Yeah.
Did
Oh, there they are.
Did nobody
Yeah.
care about...
No one cared about Rhino. And
No? Wow.
Heath Slater Rhino had 0.
Wow.
That's really a surprise after how strong they were for a while there, and they really had a great run with the SmackDown Live tag titles. They really did.
But I think with one of these matches, like, you almost know the first two teams that come out don't really have a shot of winning the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I think this would have been better if they put it in the chamber. Because
I
why not have
really-
two chamber matches,
Especially since they built the chamber specifically to like, because last year they had a tag team chamber match, and it seemed like the old chamber where the pods were a little too small.
right.
Where this year these pods looked big enough to hold the New Day,
Yeah.
and now we didn't have it. I think that would have. I don't know. I don't know why they didn't have two chamber matches at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. I guess saturation.
I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird thing that they do. Like I feel like it's just one of those things where they're like, oh, but it's Raw. It's a Raw pay-per-view, so we gotta go big. And then it's like, oh, it's SmackDown pay-per-view. We'll just we'll pull back a little bit. I don't know. I don't get the logic behind it. But.
Well, two ladies who did not hold back at all tonight. The fearless one, Miss Nikki Bella, in a bout against Natalya. We'll call this one a grudge match, a feud between former friends that has gotten, to say the least, deeply personal. Natty first attacked Nikki at Survivor Series, and they have been brawling all over the arena ever since, giving us all kinds of good stuff on SmackDown Live. I was looking forward to this, and it did not disappoint. Nikki vowed to out-wrestle Natty, and she burst out in her Phoenix Suns color. She's the hometown girl in this one, and she wanted to make Natty submit. This was exciting,
Speaking
wasn't
as
it?
someone who's been
Am I the only one?
Well, speaking as someone who's been rather harsh of Nikki Bella the majority of her time on television, she looked amazing tonight. In the ring.
He's right next. He's within arm's reach of me this time. Hence the change of tune.
No, that she's worked very hard and come such a far way. Long way? Either way. Steve and his words.
She came all the way back up the ramp at the end there.
Yeah, that spear is pretty good.
The spear was great. There was a lot of other good spots here. Nikki broke out a cross arm breaker and then a knee bar. She was really determined to make Natty tap out on this one. Natty taunted Mama Bella at one point.
I like that.
Come on. And stepdaddy John Laurinaitis. Stepdaddy Bella, as we like to call him. I know he had a great career and stuff, but now he's stepdaddy Bella. I mean, come on. Taunting Mama Bella. George's favorite Total Bellas character, JJ, was right there sitting next to her.
I'm trying to get the JJ hair. I can't get the JJ looks just yet, but dude, I love this match. Again, it goes back to like the story was awesome. It goes back to like, and it makes sense. It's not just I hate you because no. It's like listen, like everything that you have, I should have. You didn't come from a wrestling family. I come from a wrestling family. Everything should be about me. And it's like, dude, that's awesome. Like, they kind of go there. And even with the John Cena references and whatnot, you know? And I thought it was awesome. I like the fact that, and we don't see this too often. I think it's maybe the agents or maybe, like, the coaches or whatever. But a lot of times when we see two people kind of face off in a feud, in a grudge match, like, they mistakenly go for, like, a pin early on. It's like, I hate when they do that. It's like, are you trying to beat up the other person, or are you trying to beat them? Because if anything, if I hate you, I want to beat you up before I pin you, you know?
Yeah.
What was it, Nikki, who went for a pin on Natty?
No, what I'm saying, like, they didn't do that. Like, they didn't do that for, like, a while.
Yeah.
You know,
Because I think
was,
if Nikki went for a pin on Natty early, it would have made sense, because Nikki said she was trying to out-wrestle her.
No, but even so, like,
Yeah.
even that, it's like, Natty said a lot of mean things. Yeah. And, like, Nikki, like, she tried to beat her up, you know? And I like that. I like the fact that they knew how to work it. It was a well-worked match. It was a well-put-together match. And I really, really liked the match. This is a match I was looking forward to a lot.
I thought it was fun. Yeah, I mean, I like all the back and forth. I've said before, like, I hope after this is done, or I don't think it's done at all, but if they get away from the whole, like, John Cena thing, like, whoever Nikki feuds with after this, like, they need to get rid of the whole, like, you're in this spot because of John Cena.
Well, they kind of tease something.
I know they're not going to.
They kind of tease something in the backstage fight. So,
I'm with you. I
Yeah,
hope Nikki winds up in a match with other SmackDown divas across from Natalya. Maybe
And something I wish they would, like, if they're gonna keep this going after they got the count out, Natty should have smacked their mom right in the face. That would have been awesome.
Me and Anissa were like,
Or the brother.
smacking mama.
Yeah,
Oh, maybe
like-
JJ.
No,
JJ
the mom.
could use
not
a
the
good
mom.
the
stiff
mom.
one across
No,
the
the
face.
mom.
The mom's so
if you
nice.
really wanted to get real, you should. I mean, I don't know if it's too late, but Brie. Slapping a pregnant Brie.
No.
But I'm saying, like, imagine, like, the
She wouldn't have had to get on a plane
imagine,
to
like,
travel.
Natty,
She-
like, that's straight up, like, riot style. Like, she would have
That's
straight up had to be escorted out.
Yeah, no, I think thought
Sorry,
that's where
Brie.
they're going with it though. Especially when they did the count out and they were right there.
Yeah.
I thought like maybe the mom was gonna stand up and look over and be like, Nikki, you okay? And then Natty was
would've
gonna
been cool.
smack her in the face.
No, she just sucker punched Nikki instead. But she got hers when Nikki speared her on the ramp, and then Natty just runs away all cowardly with the ref had to hold Nikki back.
Hold me
Said,
back.
Hold her back. Hold me back, ref.
Catch me
hold
outside.
me back. Yes. Oh, that girl. Well, let's talk a little bit about what you guys thought was going to be the outcome here. Yes, Bella, Army strong on this one. 74.5% of you were back in the Fearless one versus 20.5% going for Natty, and 1.2% of you thought correctly guessed that this match would end in a no contest. So congratulations to all of you. I want to pose a little question to our boys here now. This is what we would probably call, and our girl, Total Divas storyline, right? This is coming from heat that we know Nikki's with John, and they're talking about their personal lives. This is something that largely wrestling fans have hated for the last few years. However, in this instance, it really seemed to work. I'm biased. The chat roll is just saying I love the Bellas too much. I'm going to tap out on this one. Was this a good use of that kind of Total Divas synergy?
Yes, because it was in ring. Like, it dates back to Survivor Series when Nikki was beat down and wasn't able to get into a match that Natty then got into. That I know the catalyst happened before that, but that's just ancillary to.
Ancillary. Good word.
Thank you. Sick word, bro.
Better than overness.
But it's ancillary to the in-ring. Because I think that's what we've been, or at least I won't speak for everyone, I've been frustrated with in the past, that they would just throw girls out there and then have the commentary just kind of put it over and have Michael Cole just explain it to you. Well, this happened on Total Bellas, Total Divas, this show, that show, the show your mom watches, your girlfriend watches, you probably don't watch.
I watch it. If anything, yes and no. I feel like we saw a little bit of it, but I think we're going to see a lot more of it with Nikki Bella's next storyline. I think that's where it's going to ultimately like build up toward that.
Yeah, I mean, I this is what, at least it worked for me, because like before, they would go, oh, this happened on Total Divas. And we all know that it didn't happen yesterday. We all know it taped it months ago. So you can't be like, oh, wait, now you're
holding on to your heat?
Yeah, you're still mad about what happened 6 months ago? Like, get over it. Like, come on.
But I like what I'm hearing from you guys. So you're saying that as long as it makes sense with the in-ring that then we're okay
And
with
the
it.
in-ring work is good.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, we
That
saw
was
a lot
not
of
always
that.
the case.
We saw that before with Natty and Summer Rae.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, Summer Rae slapped Natty 6 months ago, and now they're going to be in a match today. Like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
Anissa,
We're not dumb.
are you a Total Divas and Total Bellas viewer as well?
Yeah, I do. And
You know, you can't just say yes because
I was
we're
gonna say
here.
no. I'm not close
It's
enough
okay.
to touch
She
you, so
can-
you can be truthful.
no, I do actually watch, and it's very entertaining. The reason why I do watch it is because I like to see the behind the scenes.
Yes, exactly.
I like to see how they do everything behind
So
the
does
scenes.
it make you mad even more so when you know that certain things didn't happen in order?
Yeah. I'm just like, oh, because when I watch it, and I'm just like, oh, wait, that PPV was like 2 months ago. I already know what happened.
Right.
So it's like,
And they didn't seem to have a plan for that, because it could have just as easily been something that was said at an interview. Because then that could be very easily of like, oh, well, that went down 3, 4, 5 months ago, however long it took us to tape it. But that interview, I didn't see that interview till it aired, and I'm upset with what you said. Like, that would have been a way
Yeah,
to
they never
base-
do that ever.
Yeah, that would be the easy way to base it around, and then, because I'm assuming you could watch an episode of Total Divas and pick out anything somebody says,
yeah.
and get
they-
mad about it.
and they can just fight on SmackDown.
But
Absolutely.
on Total Divas, they're not like feuding though. These two, right?
Well, no, I mean,
Like,
not
I feel like
right
they
now
seem
for
like-
legit.
Well, they were
No.
like besties.
Okay.
But
yeah,
in 6
right?
months, we're going to see them talk about it.
Yeah.
Right? Well, it seems silly to jump out of this convo and then right back into it in a little bit. So let's talk about what happened backstage after the next match. So Nikki and Natty are back there, and once again, Natty attacks Nikki, who's standing just close by in her impeccably tailored outfit as per usual, looking
Eva Marie?
pristine. I'll give you one more guess, Kaufmann.
You know I know it was
JoJo.
Maurice.
Okay, guys. Spoiler
I'll
alert.
play the list game.
It was the woman who has been rumored to be having a WrestleMania match with Nikki Bella for weeks on the dirt sheets. Y'all know I'm reading. It was Miss Maurice. Now, there's been a lot of chitty chatter, as I said, just rumors, but a lot of people saying that this John Cena and Nikki Bella versus The Miz and Maurice intergender match will go down at WrestleMania. It seemed unbelievable. However, tonight we definitely got the setup to it, even in, not to get ahead of ourselves, but even in the Elimination Chamber match between Cena and The Miz and then John looking at WrestleMania. They're very clearly telling us that this is going to happen. Or are they just messing with us?
I would love to live in a universe where they're messing with us. I would also love to live in a universe where we just get Ms. John Cena. Just because those two can go. No? So,
We saw them going to WrestleMania.
You got
man.
hot
It's
ladies
bad.
that can
like,
wrestle too.
Well,
Why
Miz
the hell
doesn't really
not?
remember it, so maybe he should have it again so he can remember it. That'd
But
be good for him.
on the John Cena Miz side, I see it happening. I see it. I see A to B. I do not see A to B from where being powdered in the face on a show Maurice was not booked on. Like, Raw had a house show tonight, right?
Well,
Or
she's
no,
not-
she's
No,
oh, never mind.
She's on
Sorry.
SmackDown,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry.
You're
She
thinking
doesn't
of Lana.
what? I'm thinking she also does.
Get your blonde wives straight.
Let's just
Maybe
add-
you need to start watching Total Divas.
They should
Get
add
my
Lana and
block-
Rusev to this match too.
My blonde wives that can wrestle but don't wrestle, yeah, I need to get them straight.
Yes. Well, yeah, Dante in the chat said Maurice getting back into the ring, okay, I guess, but not stoked for it. I don't know. I would be really excited to see
I
that.
thought
Yeah,
she was
I'm
always
fine
really
with
good
it.
in the
Yeah.
ring.
Yeah.
I thought she was really, really good. I like the possibility of this match. It seems like, aside from Undertaker match and the World Title match, a John Cena match is a big deal.
Right.
So as far as that goes, I'm very happy for The Miz, who's been, like as mentioned many, many times, like he's not the MVP of SmackDown because that's AJ Styles,
Yeah.
but he's like up there.
But has he main evented WrestleMania before? Oh, wait, yeah, he talks about it all the time.
Yeah. So I mean, I like the possibility of that, and especially because Miz has grown leaps and bounds above and everything else just from 6 years ago. Speaking of Cena, of course, but I like it. I like the fact that they're mixing in a real life story, as we saw like in the first episode of Total
Yeah,
Divas with
real
Maurice
life
and
heat.
Nikki Bella. Like there was a lot of get to the point where like. There was no resolution. You know what I mean? And if anybody watches Total Divas as much as we do, there's always like, there's a happy ending. There was never a happy ending for Maurice and Nikki Bella, or even the Bella Twins in general. So the fact that it is kind of a real life situation, I'm sure they're going to bring it up on Total Divas as well. But I like it. I think it's going to make a lot of great TV.
Those same dirt
Yes.
sheets, by the way, have been saying that this would be Nikki Bella's like farewell. that she would get
Well,
a WrestleMania match.
Ryan Satin from Pro Wrestling Sheet kind of confirmed that as far as
Did he?
like
Okay.
she's gonna stop being full time and maybe go from. I know.
Listen,
I'm a little sad as
Ryan
well.
knows I love him and he always reports the truth, but we're just gonna skate right past this one until it happens, okay?
I mean, I think it's mostly like I'd love to see Nikki Bella full time, but like, I mean, even if she shows up every now and then, I think it's still a win-win.
Yeah.
It'll make her matches mean a lot more.
I'll always watch whenever she gets on the air. Anissa, what do you think about the possibility of an intergender match
I love
at
it.
WrestleMania
I
between
love
these
it.
four?
That's never happened before.
It has, but
It
go
has?
ahead.
I mean, it's been a really long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time though.
It's been 6 years, but go ahead.
No, I agree with it, but I still want a Mickie and Nikki feud.
A
Yeah.
Mickey and Nikki feud,
Yep.
yes.
I still want to see that before they do Maurice and Miz.
And are we all
Or
gonna
before
agree?
Nikki leaves, I want to see it.
Yeah. Are we all gonna agree that at WrestleMania, John Cena's gonna propose to Nikki in the ring, right?
Oh.
I heard about that.
Like, how do people hear about that?
No, I didn't hear about it. I was
hope
saying
that
it.
Nikki Bella's
Are
like,
you just making that up?
No, I tweeted it out like when I saw
No,
that.
yeah,
when I
yeah.
saw that they were reporting that, I wrote out and I was like, I'm calling it now. If at the end of the match he's gonna propose to her in the ring, come
God.
on. Yeah, how are they not gonna do that?
That's
But do
I
you
mean-
think it would just be like a total Diva Bella storyline?
No, I mean I think it'll really
No,
propose.
but
to her.
no. I think the question is.
I'm too
do you
happy to
think-
talk to you.
I think the question is, if he does propose at WrestleMania, will that be the first time he proposed or the first time he proposed?
yeah.
to be fair, I'm not a fan of the way men are expected to propose to women, because you're pretty much asking a woman, hopefully, like one of the most important decisions she'll ever have to make, but it also has to be a complete surprise.
I know, well, that's right. It's kind of hard to be like it's not a surprise, but I don't know.
But
Come
the
on.
id- but
She
the-
wants it so bad.
I know, but
I don't
the-
think she would care.
But the idea that they discuss, yes, we should get married one day, like that discussion happens, I assume that discussion has
Happens
happened.
all the time. She did a photo shoot recently where she was wearing a white dress. I mean, I know you guys probably really want to see it back to the wrestling, but I'm happy.
No, I want to talk the logistics of how do you do this in a way that she genuinely doesn't know it's going to happen.
Oh, come
Yeah.
on.
Like, how
I
do you
mean,
put that on
yeah.
the run sheet?
You don't know. Come
No,
on.
you just add time to it.
Yeah, he says to Vince, "This is what I'm gonna do." Vince says, "Okay, I'm not gonna tell anybody, obviously." And
Like,
come on, you're
Kevin
gonna,
Dunn would have to know.
They're gonna say, come on.
Yeah,
the match would have to get
these
a
guys
certain
are all
amount of time.
professionals.
Guys,
No,
he
come
would
on.
do a
Yeah.
private
He can do whatever he
real
wants.
proposal
It's John Cena.
I was gonna
off
agree.
camera, and then
Yeah.
this would be a whole thing
Although,
that she would
yes,
know about.
yeah.
I always thought Daniel Bryan should
I-
propose to Brie on Raw.
This is how they're coming to the ring, just so you know. I mean down the aisle. Sorry.
Oh, it does
let this roll.
Here comes the bride. Here comes the bride.
Oh, we have
Started
had
here.
fun with this one.
Started here.
I'm gonna go.
Right, George?
And
I'm
the
gonna go
chat
viral.
room is
That's
insisting that we get back to the
GHERMOZA.
pay-per-view. They're insisting. All right, guys, we're back.
We'll have a prediction segment.
That's a lot of time spent on like the last segment.
We just said Bella quite a few times.
Right?
Let's talk about another one that I know you guys were amped for this and have been waiting for this probably as long as I've been waiting for all the stuff we just talked about. Luke Harper versus Randy Orton. No title on the line for this one. Not necessary. No one has a title anyway, but I'm just saying.
Right.
This is important for a lot of other reasons. Orton was challenged by his, shall we call him his estranged brother. But does Bray Wyatt still have control over Luke Harper, and would he show up in this match? A lot of questions. We got them all answered. Tonight, Bray was, in fact, MIA.
It's Miami.
You guys have been waiting. I mean, isn't that right? No, he doesn't live there.
Chamber or Phoenix.
Well, you guys have been looking forward to this one for a long time. Are you satisfied?
I thought
you mean the match?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the match was awesome.
I thought it
Oh,
was,
this match
I
was
thought it was a great
wonderful.
match, yeah. I mean, back and forth, good action. I kind of was hoping Harper would win, but I can understand why he didn't. You know, Randy just won the Royal Rumble. Like, you know, they're building this up. But yeah, I thought it was awesome. I mean, the finishing sequence was cool. I thought he was gonna hit the clothesline, and you know, RKO out of nowhere, like always.
I have a question. Obviously, the discus clothesline is the finishing move for Luke Harper. What does discus mean? Like, does anyone use that term outside of wrestling?
Yeah, and like
Well, you throw a discus.
Yeah.
It's an Olympic.
Yeah, it's like
it's an
Olympic-
Olympic.
Call it discus?
Frisbee
It's an
golf.
Olympic sport. You throw a discus.
where they
I don't know.
they
It's like
do
a
that
really-
gets
So
It's like
spin,
anybody
yeah.
ever use
It's a
the word
really heavy
It's a
Discus.
noun. It's a
Do people
thing.
use the word gimmick outside of wrestling?
Not really.
Oh. I never heard the word.
Maybe, I don't know.
People use the word discus inside of wrestling. People do not use the word gimmick outside of wrestling. Okay.
I agree. This match was awesome. I don't like the fact, but the fact that like when this match started was like, who did we cheer for? I don't know what to do. But by the end of it, it was like, dude, this match is so good. I don't care who wins.
They
or
were
who
cheering the
loses,
match.
You know? Yeah.
We're like, oh, I'm excited for this match. I'm excited to see
I mean,
these guys just go.
Orton to me is like straight up like one of my favorite guys. Like he's so good. Like I can't even emphasize how good this guy is, and the fact that I'm hoping that Luke Harper. We're all gonna say, like, oh, who's made, but we all said the same thing after that TLC against Dolph Ziggler. So I don't want to get my hopes too high, but yeah, I really hope Luke Harper has something big lined up in the next few months.
I do too.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
I think that's why I thought Luke Harper was going to win. Because Randy Orton can look just as strong heading into.
I agree.
They keep saying the main event of WrestleMania, so this match better go on last.
Nah, I doubt that.
Indoor or out? No, outdoor. It doesn't matter because it's gonna be
The
nighttime
main
anyways.
event is what you think the main event is, Steve.
But what goes on last? Just curious.
Roman
No,
Reigns,
it's no-
always.
Lawrence Taylor.
Well, y'all's boy Luke Harper landed a couple big super kicks, leaving Randy Orton down, but not out. RKO out of nowhere. Randy pins Luke Harper, and they both end up down. I mean, they're both down and out. This match spent both boys. However, Randy Orton is victorious, which 68.5% of y'all thought was gonna happen, with 22.8% of you thinking that Luke Harper was gonna take this one at 8.7. That's quite high for a no contest.
For Schmaz, for a Bray Wyatt run in, for.
That means they thought this one was gonna end dirty.
I thought maybe,
Right?
Well,
maybe
not
a
end,
Rowan.
and-
I don't know. I think he's still hurt, but
Yeah,
I
I
was
think,
like,
but like a Rowan run in, Braun would make no sense. But that there was a lot of room for this to not actually have a finish. For them to still have, because imagine them still having this match, but then there being no finish. It wouldn't make any difference to us.
yeah.
It's the matter of the story, but the story they're trying to tell is that Randy Orton's the #1 contender, and that Bray Wyatt is breaking off, letting him branch off and do that, because Bray Wyatt's got his own stuff to do, and that Luke Harper's kind of a loose end for the Wyatts that I guess Randy Orton tied up.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know where they go with Harper now.
Somewhere.
Let's talk about
Yeah,
that.
I think hopefully, I don't know. I mean, I guess we have to see what they do with like the Intercontinental title. Maybe you can get in that, but
Like, is that going to be like a yearly ladder match?
I kind of hope not though. I don't really want to see that again. I think it's like overdone, but I mean,
I'll
it's a good way to
elaborate.
get him on the card.
I'll elaborate in predictions, but I really think if you need to have a multi-man ladder match at WrestleMania, just bring Money in the Bank back,
Yeah,
because it'll make no sense if it's. It'll make no sense if Money in the Bank belongs to one brand.
yeah,
And it'll make no sense if that's a dual-branded pay-per-view. Bring Money in the Bank as a concept back to WrestleMania.
yeah. Do like a Royal Rumble.
They'll never-
half and half of
Yeah.
guys in
But
the
then
match.
if you
Whoever
do
wins
like,
wins.
like in Money in the Bank though, like who's in the Money in the Bank match at WrestleMania? Both brands.
Yeah. You do
So
like
that-
Royal
but
Rumble.
four and four.
by the end of the day, it's like it's still gonna only the cash-in's only still gonna be on one brand.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So what difference does it make if it's on one brand as opposed to one pay-per-view?
Because if you make one pay-per-view the way it's set up now is that Money in the Bank would have to belong to one brand, and at the best.
See, if anything,
But at best, you would have probably a Raw branded Money in the Bank match, Money in the Bank pay-per-view, with 4 SmackDown guys in the Money in the Bank match.
see, I figure like I think it'd make it a lot more important if the fact that maybe Raw or SmackDown have to bid for the Money in the Bank pay-per-view.
I agree. I think
Because
that's,
it's not gonna like, as much as you'd like it to be. It's not gonna be that. It's not gonna be like SmackDown goes to Raw. It's gonna be like its own pay-per-view. Which kind of
Well, gentlemen, none of these things are actually going to happen.
I think it's just gonna belong to one
Reach
pay-per-view.
over and burst your bubble there, G Herm. But let's see what Anissa had to say about Randy Orton versus Luke Harper.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to see it because it kept frozen on me.
Oh no!
I don't know what happened, so I kept getting skipped after skip, and then
I thought you were going to say you were trying to get your intern work done here at AfterBuzz TV.
I was doing that too.
she's
Well,
like,
either
no.
way, we give you a pass,
Well,
young
she's
lady.
like, no, I'm a superstar. I can do both.
Yeah,
That's
why
fine.
not? But overall, I'm sure it was a good match. Been a fan of Randy Orton since 2002.
Oh yeah, you love him, right?
Yep, one of my favorites, and I'm gonna go look back at it. I'm pretty sure it's a good match. He always does great with work no matter what, and always does heck of a job.
Especially in the last
right.
like 6-7 years.
Yeah,
Like, I mean,
exactly.
he's been like, and it's funny. Like, I don't have this opinion because other guys say it, but like, you ask a lot of like, I guess I don't say old timers, but a lot of the legends and Hall of Famers, they all say that Randy Orton's like the man. Like, his work is just insane.
And I like him under the Wyatt family. I've said this a lot that what they've done with him since he's come back this time has put him in a place, because I don't want to say he gets complacent, but I do want to say that they tend to put him in a box.
Yeah.
And he seems to get a little bored with that box.
Yeah.
Or not excel.
agree,
Like,
yeah.
not everyone excels when they're in a box. Not everybody's John Cena that can go out every night and just work so hard happily within, nope, these are your parameters.
Guys, let's break out of the box right now. Let's break out of the box and feel the glow. Let's talk about the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Alexa Bliss putting up her title against Miss Naomi, who has never held the women's title or the Divas title since first signing with the company in 2009. The Queen of Mean, Miss Alexa Bliss, was pinned not once but twice by Naomi in the weeks leading up to this match, and we didn't know which way this one was going to go. Naomi ended up countering the Twisted Bliss, which was a really cool move, and did a spinning moonsault off the top rope to become the SmackDown Live Women's Champion. It's her first title reign ever. The fans chanted, "You deserve it," and that she did. Gentlemen, how happy are we to finally see Naomi with the gold around her waist?
I can care less. Kidding. Kidding.
I was going to say, you've been one of her main supporters. Come on now.
I remember. Not to name drop anybody, but watching Extreme Rules in 2012 with Shad Gaspard. And he was saying, like, dude, Naomi, this is 2012, when she was a Funked actor, like, straight up, Naomi is probably one of the most athletic, one of the most gifted women you will ever see if they let her be her.
Yep.
And we've seen, obviously, in the last 6 months, thanks to the brand split, just let her be her. You know, obviously, we saw glimpses, not glimpses, but, you know, when she kind of turned heel. You know, it was like a year and a half ago, the first time, and she was, and we saw on Divas. We saw on Divas like, I don't know how to be heel, whatever. And it's like, maybe she didn't, because now she's like, she found the glow, because she's feeling the glow, and that, like, that whole everything about her is, the whole package is awesome. And good for her.
I also
Like,
want to point
seriously.
out that this match features two people who, if there wasn't a brand split and two different women's championships, something I was actually opposed to, would have literally been lost in the shuffle. Probably not been on TV every week.
No, I think Alexa would. I think she'd still be in NXT if there was no brand split.
It's so funny that you mentioned that, because like pre-brand split, it was like you can only, let's say the brand splits dropped, right? You'd be like, dude, what an insane women's division! Like all these talented women. I don't know. I just think it's kind of a little ironic that we didn't. I mean, we said that before, but like. It wasn't until after the brand split where each division, especially SmackDown, obviously Raw still got some work, but yeah, like you said, it's just insane how.
Yeah.
We
it's
found
also,
out what we had with these women.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's all,
Just real quick, Carmella. She was so awesome in her
Carmella.
like James Ellsworth.
everything with Carmella as well. I don't.
100% of our audience was behind everything that happened with Carmella.
Also, James Ellsworth, I'm sure it exists now, but James Ellsworth dropping that mic. I need that gif.
I thought the match was awesome. I'm so happy for Naomi to finally win. I think she deserved this like 2-3 years ago when she was, kicking ass back then. But yeah, I agree with you. If there was no brand split, this probably wouldn't have happened, or if it would have been even longer than now.
Yeah.
And Becky Lynch would have been involved because Becky Lynch was the inaugural champion.
Yeah.
And if you had asked them at the time, well, who's going to be the champion heading into WrestleMania, they probably would have told you Becky Lynch. But then Alexa shines.
Nikki Bella.
Yeah.
Or Nikki Bella, but like, there is a broken glass ceiling in SmackDown
Yeah.
that may or may not actually exist on Raw.
And if you look at SmackDown versus Raw, at least, all right, SmackDown has had Becky as champion, Alexa, and now Naomi. Raw has had Charlotte and Sasha. Charlotte and Sasha. Like it's 6
Charlotte,
times.
Sasha, Charlotte,
Six
Sasha.
yeah,
Like-
it's like, okay, can we get somebody new in here, like to to mix it up, and I think they're at least starting to do it now on Raw. But at least on SmackDown, like they've always had something new, and it's always a different feud. It's always at least a different storyline going into it too. When they've had the women's matches, and I thought it was awesome. I mean, Alexa has been an awesome champion as well too. Like she has, from her looking at her in NXT when she first came out, like with like the tutu and like the goody princess, and then her turning even in NXT, like she's just stepped it up each week. I think she's probably the best talker on SmackDown. Of the women, like, and then I think Carmella's definitely really good too. Yeah, I loved all the stuff with Ellsworth. I really want to buy that outfit because I think it'd be funny to wear.
But I do like what they're doing with Carmella. They're building her to legitimacy while using James Ellsworth properly. Because if James Ellsworth was an in-ring competitor in any fashion, I don't think we'd buy it or like it. Like an actual taken seriously in-ring competitor.
What do you guys make of the fact that Carmella seemed to be almost forging an alliance with Alexa and Mickie tonight, with the things that she was saying on the kickoff show, and when Dasha was checking in with her throughout the show? It almost seems like we're like maybe a new team bad over here, new nasty girls.
You mean possibly setting up a 6-woman tag match for the pre-show of WrestleMania? Because I don't want it. I don't want that.
Right,
No, we don't need that. I thought after tonight they're leading towards Carmella and Naomi at WrestleMania. At least by they kept going to her at the end, especially at the end of that, which I think would be good. I think it'd be fun because I think Alexa's going to get her rematch before Mania.
I think they already announced it was going to be not this SmackDown but the following SmackDown.
Did they? Oh,
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm talking Smack.
Okay, then that would make sense that it would be. I feel like they would do it. They wouldn't do a singles women's match because they're likely already doing Charlotte Sasha on the Raw side.
No, I think they're doing Charlotte,
Bayley,
Sasha,
Nia
Bayley.
Jax.
Yeah, I think it's fit
Then
for it.
they might actually get away with just a singles woman match for SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean, I think
And-
it should be on the show. I don't want it on the pre-show.
Well,
But
actually, devil's advocate, if you need to have a 6-woman SmackDown tag match on the pre-show, but then you get a singles match, maybe a Naomi Carmella on the main show.
yeah.
Would that be a necessary evil?
Yeah, that's fine.
And then let
That's
7
fine,
women
yeah.
get on the show.
The simple
8 women
fact
get on
that-
the show.
All right. We'll get to our fantasy booking later, boys. Let's get to what our fans thought was going to go down. 30.4% of you were hoping that Naomi would take this one versus 68.5% backing Alexa Bliss. Oh, man.
30.4
This
to you.
was well-deserved, long time coming. I'm glad they gave Naomi her time to celebrate in the ring
Yeah.
afterward. It is finally her time, and I can appreciate
I heard
it.
some people got a little emotional.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did get emotional. I literally had tears coming down my face because I see Naomi as an NXT rookie when Kelly was her pro. And just the way she was
Man, I
like
don't remember that.
Yeah.
gifted in the ring by,
She won all
Just-
she always won
was-
all the competitions.
yeah, she won it, and she's good on the mic too.
Yeah.
I give her a little credit because I'm not gonna say who, but some of the women on SmackDown are not good at their promos.
You can say who. It's okay.
No, I'm kind of curious because that you say that because they had that contract signing on SmackDown, and I thought
See-
Becky was amazing. To be honest with you, so I'm kind of curious, like, just to see who you say.
I think, sorry, but Nikki and Natalya need to work on their promos.
They
see
come.
that, see
They
that
co-
face? She says, "Get out."
I completely agree with you.
Natalya is a great wrestler, but just the promos,
The believability of what she says, yeah.
I think she needs to work on her
Yeah.
promos. I think her trash talk is on point.
Yeah.
Like when the gloves are off, shoot-esque promo. Natalya is like one of the best I saw this
Right.
week for sure. Like one of the best I've seen probably this year. This year's not that long. But I do agree that like if she just has to come out and sell me on this Sunday, I'm gonna have a pretty standard match.
Yep.
I'm gonna have a pretty standard run-of-the-mill match.
Right.
That's the art of the promo, and she either doesn't have that or doesn't do that.
She's like, listen, Nikki, we're gonna fight on Sunday, and when we fight, I'm gonna beat you. And that's the Natalya promo.
That is. Whereas the fire.
All right, she
Whereas the
doesn't
fire
exactly
used to be-
I like Natalya. I'm just saying.
She
Come on.
doesn't have the heel bone in her, I think is
And
probably the
I
problem.
kind of see what you say about Nikki, but I will say this. We've seen a lot better promos from Nikki on Total Bellas.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I've said that before on the actual
no,
Total
no,
Bellas
I
after
agree
show.
with that.
Total Divas,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Total Divas
Yeah,
after show.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Anissa,
But-
you can stay. Because I want to hear your thoughts on this next one. Let's get to our main event, the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber match. Our champion, John Cena, going up against AJ Styles, Bray Wyatt, Dean Ambrose, The Miz, and Baron Corbin, most of whom would be locked in pods, fiberglass pods? I don't know who cares what the hell they're made
It's
out
not
of.
bulletproof glass.
Big
right?
old pods in a brand new Elimination Chamber. Cena started his championship reign after the Royal Rumble win last pay-per-view over AJ Styles, who of course beat Dean Ambrose for it in September. Meanwhile, The Miz, Bray Wyatt, and Baron Corbin all would have much to gain from a win in this one as well. Cena and AJ would start this matchup. Gentlemen, what did you think of this one?
This match was awesome.
Yeah, love the Elimination Chamber match. The purist in me wanted to be upset when I saw pads over top of the steel over top of the steel outside.
A lot of
However,
talk about that on
Thank
social
you.
media.
Thank you.
I think this match delivered on, well, we'll do way more outside. Like somebody will climb and then literally just fall on those pads. And if you're going to put pads over the steel, they did a good job of doing something with that match.
Well, yeah, because there too, they were like, screw that.
Yeah.
We want to look hardcore. They were probably just as mad as you are.
Well, but they got
I
to.
think they were fine with it.
No, I
but-
think they were fine with it, but they got to do more
Yeah.
on the outside, which is part of the allure of this match.
Todd, what
Yeah,
do you
for
think?
sure. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good match. I was mad Corbin got eliminated so early. Because I like Corbin, I thought he was gonna last a little longer. I mean, I liked this beatdown on Ambrose afterwards. And I just didn't like that it was a roll up that beat him after he was on, a good roll of. And I also didn't like, at least I didn't like that people kept hitting finishers and not going for the cover on people, even though they were rolling under the ropes.
The instinct, the wrestler veteran instinct would roll under the ropes.
Well, yeah, but the other veteran instinct was go outside and roll them back in, and you can pin them to win. Like Corbin, I thought he was going to eliminate John Cena when he hit that end of days, and I was like, this is going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome for him. The crowd's going to go nuts because they're going to be like, all right, we're seeing a new champion for sure. And I thought Ambrose should at least hit a dirty deeds or something to get him out of the match.
I'm concerned with what's up with Ambrose right now. Because he went from
I know, especially how bad he got beat up by Baron Corbin. I said Darren Corbin. Baron Corbin.
Darren Corbin.
Shout out Darren Corbin.
But I'm very concerned with what's up with Dean Ambrose because he went from, at the beginning of the brand split, the number 2 pick overall, the world champion on SmackDown, to the IC champion who just kind of comes in and does whatever they tell him to a certain extent. There doesn't seem to be a long-term plan.
He's got that Randy
Blame
Orton
Steve
complacency.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be. We're gonna send Dean Ambrose out to lose a bunch right now and not look great right now because our long-term plan for him is this. I don't see any inkling of that plan to be like, oh well, they have an idea of what to do with Dean Ambrose, whereas Dean Ambrose seems to just be like, I'm okay, I'll just show up and
quick
do it.
sidebar that you said that. I just saw a rumor today that they said that because they haven't had the Steve Austin podcast on the network because how the presentation of that Dean Ambrose podcast looked.
I agree.
That's why they haven't had a
It's
single
been
one.
canceled altogether.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, along with JBL.
The JBL show. The JBL show was really good.
The JBL JBL show wasn't live.
That was really good though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it was
was
fun.
also very good, but that sucks they canceled that. The JBL show was fine.
Yeah, because it was like
I
legends.
mean, just
Yeah.
makes way for other podcasts to get picked up by the WWE network.
yeah, like
honestly.
right here, right?
Yeah, this one.
Oh. I was talking about something a little more high profile, but either way, I'm in.
That's what I thought. I thought they were talking about you.
I mean, it's my first thought all the time. Anissa, what did you think of this match?
I loved it. One thing
I thought you might.
I did not like is the padding. What's the point of the Elimination Chamber when you're going to have pads? You're supposed to get hurt.
She's hardcore, people.
I don't
Jesus
understand.
Christ!
Like-
Seriously, who cares about the health and wellness of these people? Let them get hurt.
Well, it's
Which
not
of us is
like,
the ECW fan? Wow.
But it's like, I wanted to see how Elimination Chamber 2004, it was good, 2005 and 6, and now it's just, oh, it's PG, so we gotta do it safe.
For the record, there was no Elimination Chamber 2004. Yeah,
Oh.
it was 2003, which was actually,
Okay.
ironically, in
There.
Phoenix, Arizona, the same building as it was today.
Ah.
It was 2005, yeah. It was like New Year's
She was just
Revolution.
testing you, G. Herman.
Okay, I'm just...
Was that an edge one?
That was the Edge one.
No.
Yeah,
was New
no,
Year's-
it wasn't. It was New Year's
2006
resolution.
was the one that John Cena won and Edge came in and cashed in his money in the bank for the first time.
So yeah, I just want to test
There needs to be a separate. There
I
needs to
knew
be a
it all.
separate podcast where we all just have this
I know,
conversation.
right?
with
From
George.
Albany, New York, by the way.
No, but I did enjoy it. Dean Ambrose, he was one I wanted to win.
Are you a Dean Ambrose fan?
Yeah,
Really, like big fan?
yeah.
I don't know, like
I actually met him. He was very nice.
I'm also a huge fan of, because if like everyone is either a villain or a hero, Dean Ambrose is an anarchist. He's neither. So I always enjoy that character. And that's what annoyed me about that Austin podcast, is that it's not that Austin had a genuine critique. It's that, as someone who listens to Austin's podcast, it's clear he doesn't watch the product every week.
Right.
And I think that's what frustrated me the most, that it bumped Dean Ambrose literally like 6 pegs because a guy who doesn't watch him every week just had a brief observation of what he saw then and there.
So you're saying he didn't do his research on Dean Ambrose?
But at the same time, though, like, you have Austin who can watch AJ Styles and has it on full blast the whole time, but then that just shows that Dean Ambrose isn't on full blast all the time. He sometimes coasts.
I don't think he
Listen,
does,
Dean
though.
Ambrose
I think
is,
he does now.
is a tough interview. I've been there. I want to hear about when you met him.
When I met him, he's totally what you see. It's what you see is what you get. That's
Yeah.
That's how it is, and that's how I
Did he have
felt.
the sunglasses on?
No. And I remember I asked one of the guys who goes with the talent to do signings. I asked him, I was like, is it okay if he could stand up and I could take a picture with him? He said, I'll ask him. I'm not going to give you 100% sure if he would be okay with it. So he asked him, and he said, well, you're lucky I'm having a good day. And I'm just like, okay, that's totally you. And with the podcast, that's what I got. I mean, look what he did when he did with Mick Foley at that WrestleMania. He gave it that, and that's how he did it when he was in the Indies. He gave him, that's just how he is.
Yeah.
And you just gotta accept it. And that's how he is on Total Divas.
That's true. That's true.
So,
But that,
Don't steal hats.
I
That's all
like
gotta say.
I like how genuine he is.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I like that he has the Intercontinental title. At least he has a belt now. You know what I
I
mean?
agree, but-
I think he was more just like not having a real direction for the last after he lost the belt. You know?
Well, speaking of the Intercontinental title, The Miz finally made his way into this one and entered, shall we say, apprehensively, awaiting Baron Corbin. Ambrose then eliminates Baron Corbin, and Corbin runs Ambrose through a pod. We talked about that a little bit. He got a big beatdown. Moving on, Cena AAs The Miz and gets rid of his scared butt. Setting up for WrestleMania, pointing to the side. Yes, we get it. This intergender thing is definitely going down. That was followed by a 10 knuckle shuffle. Count 'em. 5 and 5 is 10.
That was fun.
By Cena to Bray and AJ. Let's talk for 1 second about this Styles Clash, because I always give John Cena the credit when it is due, and he sets up the Styles Clash like no other wrestler. It actually looks believable. He does it quickly in a way that it's not obvious. He is the only one that when AJ Styles does the Styles Clash to John Cena, I believe it is believable. I think that move is widely problematic, but with Cena, it works. Do you guys agree?
I agree.
Yeah.
I also think they've spent enough time giving AJ Styles enough other moves.
Right.
That if you put AJ Styles with the big show tomorrow, as cool as it would be to see a Styles Clash happen, it would likely be a 4-0.
I don't think he can do it to Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Like I don't think he would be able to do it to him.
I think
it'd be really hard.
Well,
to
no,
do
I
it.
think he can. I don't think he can do it believably or as
yeah.
well as he can do it to John Cena.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting because this one did come down to Bray Wyatt and AJ Styles, with Bray catching AJ when he attempted the phenomenal forearm. And then AJ gets a big old Sister Abigail. He is pinned for Bray Wyatt's first WWE title win ever. Congratulations, Bray. Although I doubt anyone cried over this one.
I was
I think
glad
IRS.
that he won. I actually predicted this. I knew
Oh, get it,
that.
girl.
Yeah, I predicted this. I was like, okay, he's gonna win it. It's gonna be Randy Orton versus him at WrestleMania. Why do you think Randy Orton won the Royal Rumble?
Yep.
She's got it all figured out, people. That's why she's here. Gentlemen, do you have anything to add? Or we're just going to let Anissa tell us what's up.
Well, I think it's. I don't want to say it's frustrating, but it is interesting. It is interesting that John Cena's 16th title reign was to beat AJ Styles to then transition the belt to Bray Wyatt.
Yeah,
I find that interesting, and I feel like there's more, because there's still 6 weeks, there's 49 days to WrestleMania. And AJ Styles does have a rematch clause. They made that very clear. They made that very clear 2 SmackDowns ago, that he still has a rematch clause, but he's also in the Elimination Chamber match. Also, I wish they had made it even more clear that he waived the rematch clause to not enter the Royal Rumble match.
Yeah, because Reigns was in and he wasn't. Yeah.
But I think that could have been one tweet between him and Shane McMahon, of just, I'm not. If Shane McMahon could offer just on Twitter. On Twitter.
You guys could just tie that loose end up for Kaufmann
Just real
over here,
quick.
so we don't have to hear him talk
the
about
night
it.
of, I would have loved if Shane McMahon tweeted at him and said, "Hey, do you want in the match? You can use your rematch clause." And he goes, "No, I'm good." That's one exchange, but I do find it I love that Bray Wyatt is world champion. 2017 is the year where Bray Wyatt becomes champion of things. Because it was the first SmackDown Live of 2017. He became tag champ, or was
Nope.
it? Nope, it was the other way. It was American
TLC.
Alpha. Thank you.
Yeah.
Never mind.
But he was still tag champ in the first.
Yeah, it was-
there, so. Right?
It was a
Nope.
vi-
You want that like December
Oh, the last
29th,
one was the last.
from
Yeah, it
Chicago.
was,
Fair
yeah.
enough.
We're seeing
And
Yeah.
this is why he's the encyclopedia.
That's fair.
of
Yeah.
WWE.
Right?
That's fair, but I think
I'm saying.
Bray Wyatt has long been considered the best wrestler to never have any of the accolades as a championship reign behind him, because he was very much a Ted DiBiase style wrestler that never needed to. But in this day and age, if you stick around this long, you get it for a lot of reasons. This reason being he's been the best for a long time, and he's worthy of it.
But do we think that we're really going to get him in Orton at Mania? Now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do we?
Yes.
However-
But what do you think's gonna happen? What do you think then?
I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. I think it is going to be that.
Okay.
I'm just throwing it out there, being like, I don't know what else they could do with it. I really wanted AJ. When it came down to those two, I was like, I hope AJ wins it. I wouldn't understand why they would give Cena 16 at Royal Rumble just to put it back onto AJ.
Yeah.
I think AJ deserves it more than Bray Wyatt.
I think AJ Orton would be the better match. I think Bray Wyatt Orton would be the better story, and I think Cena Orton would have.
No, I wouldn't want to see that at all.
would have made
No
the whole
way.
internet very angry.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with AJ now at Mania. So I'm kind of sad that he's not going to be in the title picture.
I mean, this is why I hope. I mean, maybe fast forward to I hope Kevin Owens doesn't lose, just for the simple fact that AJ and Owens has been the MVPs, the respective champions of their brand. It's no, neither of them are going to enter Mania as champ.
Yeah.
Come on.
After
both deserve it.
they carried both shows all year long, basically almost all year long as champions.
It took me longer than I care to admit to realize something about WrestleMania versus any other pay-per-view. WrestleMania exists on its own timeline versus this pay-per-view existed on the same timeline as Royal Rumble, on the same timeline as the previous SmackDown pay-per-view. It exists week to week, month to month. WrestleMania exists WrestleMania to WrestleMania.
You mean the show, when the show starts?
The road goes all the way through the whole year?
Wait, I don't know what you mean by that.
But what I mean is, if you were to watch the past 2 years' WrestleManias back to back, they'd make sense chronologically. Whereas if you were to watch all the pay-per-views in between, they may or may not make sense chronologically.
I don't
That
know.
sounds like a challenge.
Yeah.
It's on, audience. Let's see what they thought was going to go down
But
in
I
this
don't think
one.
that's right. The last two Manias, that doesn't chronologically. I don't think they go.
I think you're just saying because we're gonna see Goldberg, Raw,
Yeah.
Taker, Brock.
But none of those guys were there last year.
Yeah, but I'm saying they're not there
But-
really. They're not
but they're
really
not
there
there
in
any other-
between.
Oh, God. Oh,
They're
I
not
get
there.
what you're saying.
The
Okay.
in-between is
yes.
what we
Is
all
what we
love
like.
to talk
They'll do
about.
whatever they want in between, but Mania is when they're really we need to have Cena as champion, we need to have Orton as champion.
Yeah, I get what you're
But
saying.
at the same time,
if Extreme Rules is a SmackDown pay-per-view, which it likely will be, it will be back on track to what we just witnessed tonight. Whereas WrestleMania, It's gonna be Goldberg. It's gonna be Brock Lesnar. It's gonna be The Undertaker.
Gotta
it's
be for
gonna,
the belt.
Austin, if they can get Austin, Austin will show up. If they can get The Rock will show up. McFoley will be there.
Listen,
like-
I don't mind those guys showing up. I just don't want them in matches. I mean, Undertaker, he still can go.
No, I can't.
Tina in the chat roll said that Cena Orton may have made the internet angry, but it would have made Vince a lot of money and would have pulled in the casual fans.
No, I don't think it would have. No way.
We have to remember that the casual fans are really the ones who are being catered to for
But
something
the
like
casual fans are
WrestleMania.
gonna be like, wait, I already saw this before.
Yeah, huh?
But I think Orton Wyatt is a better choice to. Orton will draw the casual fan into who is Bray Wyatt. Similar to 2 years ago when it was Bray Wyatt Undertaker. The whole point was everyone knew who Undertaker was, but the casual fan who doesn't know who Undertaker is gonna watch Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, but but do we?
But Undertaker wins.
Do we?
That's
think
what
that,
I mean.
Yeah. Do we think that Orton wins now at Mania? I really don't want that to happen.
I don't either, but
I wouldn't mind it, but I've been saying for a while, I really want to see what creatively they can do with Bray Wyatt as the top guy.
Yeah,
I think the
do too.
possibilities are so endless. It's kind of like similar when Raven in ECW. Like, they did so much with him as the top guy.
I was gonna pitch. Remember how like Randy Orton's like the legend killer when he first came in?
Yeah.
And now they could do something with Bray Wyatt. You used to be the legend killer. Now you're a legend. I'm gonna kill your legacy.
Yep.
Oh, I like that.
it.
If that wasn't on someone, a writer's legal pad already,
It is
it
now.
is right now.
Well, since we've kind of sailed right into our predictions, let's talk about what our audience predicted for this final bout of Elimination Chamber. 68.5% of you thought that Bray Wyatt would score his first singles title, and y'all were right. 25% of you were backing John Cena, and it was all scattered.
Well, just 2.3 Baron Corbin, 3.3 AJ Styles, 0 and 0 for Miz
Oh,
and Dean
that's
Ambrose.
why I'm looking for a
There's
number
no-
and I don't see one. Wow.
It's always a hard decision to know whether to put a 0 or put nothing. You're never right.
I wouldn't be
that's what I
surprised
got.
if Miz. I was like, maybe Miz is gonna walk, especially when he was the last one to come out.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe they're gonna swerve us and Miz is gonna come out, with the belt.
I thought it could happen.
Yeah.
The timing was such where this could have been Baron Corbin. Because this would have been a way to build up Baron Corbin in the sense that he's not going to be the champion heading into WrestleMania. However, they said that too much tonight for that to have been the case. They said that at least 6 times tonight, that whoever wins the Elimination Chamber will be the champion heading into WrestleMania.
But I mean, we still have 7 weeks.
We
so-
still
we
have
got a
enough-
long time to
I
go.
like when they say 49 days sounds a lot less
We
long
still have
than
49
7
days
weeks.
to go to WrestleMania.
Thank you.
But I also thought that what was I gonna say? Sorry, somebody else say it. I'll get back to it. I lost my
49
thought.
days.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about our ABTV predictions champion. While we have a second, one of you has dethroned it was a Mexican Stallion, right?
Yes. Who has...
I'm so sorry, Mexican Stallion. You have been dethroned.
He was the winner of both Survivor Series and the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, so
He's-
still the
when
one
the lights
to
are
beat.
on bright. When the lights are on bright, Mexican Stallion.
Well, tell us who is our brand new AfterBuzz TV predictions champ, Steve.
Okay, there were 10 questions. The champ is at Rob Hendershot 1 with 8 out of those 10 questions correct.
What were the questions?
Well, it was
Wait, I'm like, wait,
well,
what?
no,
I didn't know.
it was the matches plus you had to pick the opening combination of the Elimination Chamber, which I think only a dozen people got.
Wow.
And then you had to pick who would be first eliminated. So it was the 8 matches plus those 2 questions.
Okay, gotcha.
Wow, Rob.
That's
That's-
hard.
Congratulations.
No, we're not done.
Because odds are you won't get all 8 matches.
I hope you also played somewhere else for money, Rob. Real, actual money. We are going to be giving away prizes after WrestleMania to our most winningest predictor. So make sure that you always check in with us. The account is at ABTV Champ.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, it is.
We shortened it. I
We
like that
have.
better. I like that better. Well, let's
Unless
roll
I have it dead
into
wrong.
our very own predictions.
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Gentlemen, what do you think, and lady, what do you think the future holds for WWE Fastlane pay-per-view upcoming and eventually the road to WrestleMania?
Somebody else can go.
Just something in kind of what you guys were saying.
Oh,
a few
now
matches
nobody
ago.
knows anything.
Just something what you guys saying
No.
as far as like we were hoping that one of the women's title matches isn't going to be on the pre-show. it better be on the pre-show. If they can have 3 singles matches on the main show at Elimination Chamber, they better have 2 women's championship matches on the main 4-hour, maybe 5-hour,
6-hour.
show. Yeah,
it was 6. It was like 6 hours last year.
Yeah,
plus
so
2-hour pre-show.
Yeah, but so I'm hoping that they have both, and maybe it's gonna be. I didn't really think about Naomi Carmella. I wouldn't like that just for the sake of Carmella hasn't really done anything in the last month or two. So I kind of hope maybe we know what Nikki Bella's doing. We know what
John Cena's doing. We know what Maurice is doing.
But she's not really
wrestling.
doing.
But she's got Ellsworth.
But no, what I'm saying, like, as
you know
far
what I
as
mean? Ellsworth is going to cheat to get her into that championship match.
As far as Naomi, like, oh, that's true. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to see like a multi-woman match, but it kind of makes sense. Mickie, Natty, Naomi,
the Naomi Alexa
and Becky.
rematch could be everything.
Yeah,
but it's likely it's also going to be Becky and Mickie.
But there's
going to be
because there's those 49 days left. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, they already have the rematch scheduled. Unless they go back and forth.
If they have the rematch scheduled,
again.
it seems likely, especially since Raw is going. I don't know. I want to see that. I would like to see them do a tag match in the pre-show to get more women out there, and then a one-on-one match on the main show. It would likely be Naomi, Mickie James, because in typical WrestleMania parlance, Mickie James is the one they would think, oh, everyone knows who Mickie James is.
No, but I could also see them doing Naomi, Becky, just to get Becky in a title. You know what I mean?
That's true. Nothing wrong with having a face versus a face.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there are going to be plenty of other matches. I don't know. Fastlane. How many weeks do we have? Fastlane? Couple weeks.
2.
I think it's March 5th.
March 3rd.
I really don't want Goldberg to win. I'm putting that out there. I mean, I know it's happening, but I just don't understand it.
They wouldn't put him there.
Goldberg doesn't need the title to make the match at WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar.
I really hope Brock Lesnar shows up and destroys Goldberg. Like we need something else to further that storyline.
Even so, I mean, I was completely wrong. Obviously, I thought they were never going to book Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. Because quite frankly, I mean, who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy? Typically, Goldberg is the good guy. Brock Lesnar is the bad guy. Why do you want to see the good guy beat the bad guy again? Nobody wants to see the bad guy beat the good guy. But in that logic,
I do understand the logic that they need more. If Goldberg is 2-0 over Lesnar.
Put his career on the line.
I don't care about Brock beating Goldberg.
It should be in the sense that we've only seen him
just so Brock can not defend the Universal title.
Yeah, exactly. We don't need that. Well, I don't know. Who cares? It's Raw. They don't do anything with that title anyway. So
I think we're more frustrated for Kevin Owens. I think Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho would be a great match.
I think we're going to get it for the U.S. title.
And even
or
so,
no
like,
title.
It makes no sense for Brock to cost Goldberg the match.
I think it does.
Well, it doesn't make sense because now if you're a Brock, why would you cost your WrestleMania guaranteed opponent the match?
Oh, yeah.
Just so you're not going to get the title shot at WrestleMania?
But Brock doesn't really care about the belt. That's too. He just wants to beat Goldberg. That's his motivation. His motivation is I don't want this guy to get something I don't have.
But why not beat him and become champion at the same time?
Yeah,
the ultimate F you to, hey, I took your belt. Just because I beat you.
Hopefully, Goldberg says something in the next 2 weeks that literally sets Brock Lesnar off to be the catalyst. Because you're right. Right now, the logic isn't there.
Well, and also,
He's scheduled to appear in several Raws.
If you look back on the timeline of their whole story, Goldberg did cost him the belt years ago to Eddie Guerrero. When Eddie Guerrero won his first belt.
2004 from San Francisco, California.
So there's a lot of cool storyline they could do of
That's true. That's actually really, really.
I don't know.
So we're talking predictions.
They don't like to talk that far back, but
we're talking predictions at large. Do we think Seth Rollins will be healthy in time for WrestleMania?
I say no.
I say yes.
Yeah, he's going to push himself.
Do we think Finn Balor will be healthy?
I think they would have already announced that he's not available to wrestle if he wasn't going to wrestle.
From what I've been hearing, it sounds like the timeline is.
You say for Finn Balor?
For Seth Rollins.
Okay.
The timeline for Seth Rollins is currently he could be, but he could not be. So the question becomes, do you plan around him? Or do you plan he'll be a surprise?
I think you do. I think you plan for the surprise, and you don't book Triple H in a match. You have him be there, and I think this would be really cool. Actually, is if Seth Rollins Triple H is back at the desk with Vince. And then they just happen to go backstage or something, and they just what's going on? And he's beating the crap out of Triple H in the back and drags him out to the ring. They don't even have a match yet. They don't even have a match. He just beats him down
on the stage.
And then you save it to the next pay-per-view, next Raw pay-per-view. That'd be cool. I think it'd be way unexpected. You wouldn't see it coming. You know?
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I think the ego, and rightfully so, of Triple H and as well as everyone else is going to want to perform at a WrestleMania.
Yeah, but come on, Triple H, you can take one year off. You're okay. You're not, it's not gonna hurt you, dude. Come on.
Although,
you just won the belt last year.
Given my timeline theory, if you've watched the last 2 WrestleManias, Triple H has been incredibly prominent, in spite of not being prominent in the majority of the other.
I mean,
shows.
he hasn't wrestled in months, or he hasn't been around in months, so
So
it's
that it makes sense for Triple H to have a match at WrestleMania. The question becomes, and I'm sure they've debated it and decided on it by this point, and will redecide, is
they just changed their mind again. So
is do we make a plan of Triple H versus Seth Rollins, and then plan on being able to scratch Seth Rollins for Samoa Joe or for someone else?
I think you just say Rollins isn't going to be there. Like in their mind, maybe they don't announce it to us, but they just say he's not going to be there. And then if he does show up and challenges Triple H to a match or some kind of thing,
it's a bonus.
Then it's a bonus. Like The Rock last year showing up and
having a match.
Yeah.
With the flamethrower and the cheerleaders, which you all told me you weren't going to be there and totally were. Anissa, what are your predictions? You guys have talked enough.
I want Finn Balor just to come back. That's all I'm asking.
I kind of figured that would be what she would say. She just wants her some Finn Balor.
His nail.
No,
he's
Oh my gosh.
I think
that was hilarious.
Are you going to let him say that?
I think he's out for like
What? What'd you
48
say?
hours.
he cut his finger.
I know, I saw
his
it.
finger now?
Yeah.
48 hours, I think he's going to be out.
All right, one of you was going to say something else?
I don't know.
Oh, I have a couple more. I have a couple more Mania things. We know John Cena's out. We know John Cena's with Nikki Bella and Miz and Maurice. We know they're gone.
Right.
AJ Styles, we don't know what AJ Styles is doing. Dean Ambrose,
The
we
rumor
don't.
is Shane McMahon.
Well, we could do maybe
It
like
has been widely
Which I don't
reported for a
wanna
while.
see.
We I hope it's not AJ Styles, Shane McMahon.
I hope so too.
no.
Okay, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose for the IC title.
No, thank you.
They're
we've
probably
seen it
gonna
already.
have a 6-man everybody get in here ladder match with Kalisto, Apollo Crews,
Kalisto.
Dolph
That would be a
Ziggler.
good match.
Kalisto, Apollo Crews, Dolph Ziggler,
Baron
Dean
Corbin.
Ambrose, Baron
Baron
Corbin's gonna be.
set up Baron Corbin versus Ambrose, obviously at Mania, but obviously we've seen not just because of the past. We saw.
They have too many one-on-one matches, and they
Yeah.
set up Baron Corbin, Braun Strowman at the Royal Rumble. However, they have too many one-on-one matches, so I think it's going to be Andre the Giant Battle Royal with
Yeah.
Braun Strowman on one side and then
Corbin on the other.
Corbin on the other, and like everyone else who gets thrown into that match is kind of lost in that.
Kalisto, Dolph Ziggler, Apollo Crews, Zack Ryder, all those people.
Like all those people, but I love the idea of Big Show Shaq. I haven't heard enough about it that it might actually happen.
Pre-show.
No, it's happened.
Pre-show, please.
It's confirmed.
Is it confirmed that
Oh,
that's
yeah.
actually that Shaq's on board?
Yeah.
I think so,
Okay,
yeah.
then I'm excited for I'm excited for a Big Show Shaq.
I'm not.
Okay.
At pre-show.
Really?
A Big Show Shaq.
I just feel like it's
It's
gonna
like
be
the
like
Shake Shack.
Mayweather versus Big Show.
But that was actually
that was a
surprisingly
very
it wasn't that
entertaining.
bad,
That was
but-
very entertaining.
I don't know. The Big Show is in amazing shape right now. I can't believe that guy has like a 6-pack. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I think part of the reason he is in amazing shape is they took him off the road, so he could be in amazing shape in time for WrestleMania.
Yeah. Oh, and I was gonna say, do we think we'll have any Raw versus SmackDown matches at Mania? Because that could be something AJ could do. Going over, I don't know. I'm trying to think who would want to fight. I mean, AJ
Samoa
Finn would be
Joe.
awesome, or
Samoa
Joe.
Joe.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like they haven't, we haven't had that.
I didn't
AJ
think about
Styles,
that.
Samoa
I didn't think
Joe.
about that.
Yeah.
Oh, if we have one,
Winner gets Money in the Bank. Boom, there you go.
George Hermoza is solving everybody's
Winner
problems.
gets the Money in the Bank pay-per-view.
Who's working for you, WWE creative?
I actually love that.
Yeah. Like
I love
like
that
we
because
haven't.
that match would be awesome. We all know that match would be awesome.
Yeah. What are they gonna do with Joe now?
I know
Like,
Joe was kind of like everyone was saying Triple H. I kind of like that he came out and says my loyalty is to Triple H because when no one else signed me, he did, and
Yeah.
you know. So I like that they brought that up.
That kind of
But-
sounded like CM Punk talking about, with the whole Paul Heyman, in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I kind of like that he
That's
kind of dropped that little blurb. But yeah, I don't know, dude. That's awesome. Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles and winner gets Money in the Bank pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Or I mean, I know they're kind of talking Reigns, Taker.
Yeah.
At Mania, I mean, I think that's where we're going. But I mean, I think it'd be cool if AJ was like, no, I want to fight. You know what I mean? I want to fight
Taker AJ is the only other match I want
Or
to
at
see.
the very least,
Like, throw us a curveball. Like, I know I'm reading things. Like, I
Or-
shouldn't. But let's see.
It's
throw me
too
something I'm not gonna expect. Like
Or-
Shane McMahon.
It's
was
okay
not
to read
expecting
dirt
that.
sheets.
I
Forget
know.
what Rosenberg says. It's okay, Tom.
I don't listen to him.
but I think it's also, and they're not necessarily doing it, but I think it would, than they have in the past, that it's the honor of fighting Undertaker at WrestleMania is something 6 people fight over.
Yeah.
They're not doing that because if it's Reigns is already working Braun Strowman because we haven't seen that match before.
No.
All right. Well, gentlemen and lady, I believe that we could continue this discussion all night long. We could probably keep talking for the next 49 days, all the way to WrestleMania. We're not, but we will be back for Fastlane. And of course, SmackDown is live in LA this week, right here in our hometown, shall we call it. And I know several of us will be there, so make sure you tune into the SmackDown Live after show at 9 p.m. Pacific time on Tuesday. And gentlemen, how can they keep up with you in the meantime? I'm sure you've made some people agree with you and some disagree. And if they would like to let you know their thoughts, where can they do that at?
All those haters can just go away. You can go hate on Enzo like I do. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TomTheCom.
So you're in the cup. You're in the cup. You can follow me at Hermoza, GHERMOZA, in Twitter, Instagram. All the above. Keep the chat going. I feel like we can talk all night
And all my haters can follow me at Steve, and all my not haters can follow me at Steve Kaufmann. That is KAUFMANN. I do a lot of shows here at AfterBuzz TV. I tweet about them regularly.
He does indeed. And Miss Anissa, where can everybody talk to you at?
Well, I don't think I have any haters yet, but you can follow me at Anissa Barr X on Twitter or Anissa Barr on Instagram.
That's right, and we are going to have Mick Foley on Lillian Garcia making their way to the ring this week. Please also tune in to X-Pac 12360 on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Pacific time. That does it for us. We will see you for Fastlane. Take care. Thank you for hanging out with us in the live chat roll for all your AfterBuzz TV news and gossip and programming. Check out at AfterBuzz TV. We will see you all soon. Have a great night. Adios.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.